I had a really bad experience with a white hooker. She had skin as pale as cheese and light red hair. She was a little chubby and totally unnecessarily completely shaved. And I mean everything was bare, not a single pubic hair anywhere. Her crotch looked like a sculpture of a newborn baby made out of cheese. I had been looking forward to her tits. From beneath her shirt, they made a good impression. Big but still pointing upward. When she undressed and took off her bra, it was a big disappointment. She had big droopy breasts with flat nipples. Flat nipples are something really bad. All a nipple is supposed to do is stick out. Flat nipples don't do that. It's as if someone had pushed the nipple back into the breast and it stayed there, cowering in fear, like a little collapsed souffle. I thought, well, I'm already here and I'm going to have to pay, so I might as well close my eyes and go for it. Some of the hookers had told me that men who weren't happy with their hooker once she got naked just walked out without paying and picked a different one. I could never do that. I'm too much of a beginner and too polite. I would have to tell her to her face that she didn't look good. I'd rather not. I wouldn't have the heart. I convince myself that it's also an important experience to have sex with someone I find ugly, and immediately I go down on her on the bed. She puts her hands behind her head and does nothing. I'm doing all the work. I lick her and grind my pussy on her bent knee. I come fast. I'm the queen of grinding. She hasn't moved an inch the entire time. A very lazy hooker. Didn't know there was such a thing. After I've come, she starts looking around for something to munch on, finds something. She knocks back a glass of the expensive champagne I paid for and munches on goldfish crackers. She can't believe how fast I came and asks whether I've ever had anal sex. I don't understand why she's asking, but I answer truthfully and say yes. How is it? Doesn't it hurt? What? Who's the hooker here? I decide that as a young client, it's not my job to explain anal sex to a hooker. I leave. But I pay. I did come after all, even if the collapsed souffles were no help at all. It was simple mechanics. The hookers are always older than me, even the youngest ones. That's why I always assume they've had more experience than me when it comes to sexual experimentation, but that's not the case. They limit what they do professionally. They'll say, for instance, no kissing and no anal, so they never learn anything new. I suppose they have their reasons. Maybe there's a lot of Johns who don't properly prepare the asshole before they fuck it. That can hurt, and guys like that probably pretend not to notice the pain they're causing, and that makes it hurt even worse. Depending on how long and thick the cock is that's supposed to go up there, I like to take plenty of time to stretch it out, or at least have a lot of alcohol or something else numbing. Anal sex is great, even though sometimes you don't notice until the next day that you've overestimated your ability to stretch. Overall, it was a bad experience with the redhead. Now, whenever I see a light-skinned redhead, I chuckle inside and think to myself, she's lazy in bed, has no hair, anywhere, like an alien, eats goldfish and has never had anything up her ass, and her nipples don't stick out. My dad, drunk at a party once, said to a redhead friend of my mother's, "Ginger hair, always moist down there."